Hey everybody, Jeff Reinhart here, LMP and Lancaster Online. Welcome in to the Week 14 edition of the LL League Football Podcast. It's the Huddle, sponsored by Auto House of Lancaster. It's still football season, gang. The basketballs are out. Wrestling practice started. The swimmers are probably swimming. I typed a gajillion basketball schedules into the back end the other day, but it's still football season. There are still 4 LL League teams playing in 3 District 3 championship games. It's the big school games. They are this weekend, 2 on Friday night, 1 on Saturday. All 3 games have LL teams playing. Isn't this fun? Exeter's still alive. LS and Wyomissing are still alive, and Wilson is still alive. LS being the only Lancaster County team in there. Everybody else is from Berks. What a season for Berks. Wow. And also, I'll touch on this here at some point in the next couple minutes. We've had 4 coaching vacancies already. 4 guys have stepped down since the end of the regular season, since like the first week of November. So there will be a bunch of new coaches coming up next year in LL football. Okay, here's what we're looking at. We're looking at the 5A game and the 4A game on Friday night, and we're looking at the 6A game on Saturday afternoon. All 3 sites are neutral sites. District 3 went back to neutral sites this year for finals, which is pretty cool. I like that. I don't think you should get a home game in a championship. I don't know. Just congrats on the 1 seed, but I don't know. I'm a big neutral site fan in any sport. I like that. And all 3 of the neutral sites are LL facilities. 1 game's at Elko, 1 game is at Warwick, and 1 game is at Exeter. So 3 LL football venues are hosting district championship games. So that's pretty cool. Okay, let's chat about these 3 games. We got the plain white card with 3 teams circled this week. Let's see who wins and advances. Let's see who goes to week 15. We know we'll have 1 because LS plays Wyomissing. And state playoffs in football will go next week with the big school teams with who's left coming out of week 14. Okay, here we go. Friday night, Class 5A championship, Exeter Eagles. Hello, number 8 seed against Bishop McDevitt. What are they, the 6? It's the 6 and the 8 in 5A. Throw the seeds out. This game will be played at Elko. Hello, Tommy Mealy. Enjoy hosting that. Big game, huge game. Exeter's been so good. Oh my gosh. They got their revenge last week against CV, put up, 48? Zandier rushed for 260 and 4 touchdowns. I was worried about them being too amped up last week, and that didn't happen. They rolled the Bucks in Whitmer. So Exeter's kind of been on this revenge tour here for 4 weeks, and they've been great. And here they are, 3rd title in the last 4 years. Won it in 21 against Mifflin, lost in 22 against Cocalico. They'll play for another 5A title on Friday against McDevitt. They're also playing well. This is a fun fact. McDevitt and Exeter in the last 2 weeks, the quarters and the semis, both went on the road, both beat undefeated teams to get here. Wow. McDevitt beat Weiser and Mechanicsburg. Exeter beat New Oxford, the 1 seed, and CV. So that's how hot these teams are right now. They both got hot at the right time, and they'll play for gold. As mentioned, Exeter, 3rd time in 4 years. McDevitt, I could ramble off a bunch of numbers. 17 championships, and 18th would tie Manheim Central for the most in District 3 history with 18 for the Barons. McDevitt's here for the 21st time. I think they're 17-3 in championship games. That's pretty good. And McDevitt is 68-9 in District 3 playoff games over the years. Wow. Mention Zandier. joined the 2,000-yard rushing club last week. He's at 2,089 with 30 touchdown runs. McDevitt's got to stop him. Conversely, Stone Saunders, who's been at McDevitt now forever, started as a freshman and has just had an unbelievable career for McDevitt. 13,000 passing yards, 197 touchdown passes, which is most in Pennsylvania history. That's pretty good. Let's mention Dominic Diaz-Ellis, Columbia kid, transferred to McDevitt. Didn't play much last year, but he's been great this year. He's one of Saunders' favorite targets, 59 catches, 1,100 yards, 13 touchdowns. He's been great. Nazir Davis, their running back, Nazir Jones, their running back, 1,100 rushing yards. Just tons of crooked numbers all over the place for McDevitt. 430 yards a game, 40 points a game, and obviously they're playing really well in playoff time. I have McDevitt circled. I'd love to sit here and say Exeter, no doubt, they're the pick. But the more you look at all of McDevitt's history and pedigree and this game and championships and this and that and the other thing, for pick purposes, I'll go McDevitt. Can Exeter win the way they're going? Yes, no doubt. If I wasn't so afraid of them being too amped up last week, I probably could have picked them last week just because of the way they're going. They're firing. And Riley Martinez got back on the field last week and threw a touchdown pass. But for pick purposes, let's go McDevitt. This is their time to shine. They just find ways to win this game in this situation in late November with a trophy in the stadium. Should be great. Enjoy Elko. I'll go Crusaders over Eagles, but enjoy that. That's a whale of a matchup. 4A championship Friday night. Lidditz, Warwick hosting. Cool. I'll see you there. For LS against Wyomissing, 1 seed Pioneers, 12-0. Flying, YO, what are they, the 2? So we got chalk in this bracket. And playing better. They've had 2 good district games after losing to LS in week 10. Got right back up on the horse, shut out East Pennsboro, and then beat West York last week. Held the Bulldogs to minus 9 rushing yards. YO has run the heck out of the ball the last 2 weeks. Danny Fleischhood had a big game last week. Justice Hardy missed both of the playoff games so far. He got hurt in the Week 10 game against LS. So Fleischhood's been playing that halfback spot. He had 3 touchdowns last week, 2 long runs, and a catch, rushed for 100. Macrina had 100 yards the week before against East Penn. So YO's found it, A, running the ball, which is their bread and butter, and B, defensively, specifically rush defense. LS, oh my, saw the Twin Valley rematch last week. That was interesting. As predicted, it wasn't 62-14 again. Twin Valley put up a much better fight. It was actually 7-7 in the first quarter and kind of anybody's game. And then LS kind of broke free and won. House did his thing. Brown had another big night, rushed for 180 and a touchdown, and LS won again. So now we get the rematch. We were curious to see who would get through this bracket and if 2 LL teams would get here and play for the title, and they did. Pioneers and Spartans. I have LS circled. Already beat YO once. They get him again here with tons of mow on a turf field at Warwick. Just really like the way LS is going here, and I could sit here and rattle stats for half an hour, but I won't. I'll just say I'll go Pioneers. They are on some kind of mission, some kind of role. I see no weak links there. They have been outstanding in every phase, including special teams. Fiorello has like 6 field goals. and a bunch of touchbacks. They get interceptions. They get turnovers. House still hasn't thrown a pick. Thousand kid. Browns rushing for 180 in playoff games. They've been great. Can YO win? Sure. They've won 5 district titles in a row. This is their 21st district championship game. They've won 12 titles. LS has won 3. But I just like LS here. I just like the way they're going. I like that they already beat them once and probably have a good frame of mind going into the rematch. There you go. Breaking it down. I'll see you Friday at Warwick for LSYO. Let's go Pioneers over Spartans. But what a great matchup that is. Saturday afternoon, Exeter is the place to be. Thomas Stadium in Rifton. Wilson Bulldogs against Harrisburg. The Cougars beat Township again last week, 3rd year in a row. Township's probably tired of hearing about this. Sorry, guys. But Harrisburg beat them again, 35-14. Messiah Mickens, the Penn State commit, had a huge game. 130 on the ground, 3 touchdowns. Cougars here again. They've won 3 straight 6A titles. They've dominated this bracket as of late, going for their 4th in a row with a lot of weapons. And I know, there was a big fuss about the quarterback back in August and Lee, and he left, and this new kid and a new quarterback. Oh, no. And Harrisburg lost a couple of games, but they flushed that, and it's playoffs now, and they've found it, and they've been just fine, and they have plenty of mo. And plenty of crooked numbers and a ton of playmakers. So Harrisburg will be just fine going into this game. Wilson, 9 wins in a row. They keep finding ways. Beat Central York last week, 28-20. Good game. Maddox Gruber, probably don't talk about him enough. We talk about House a lot and other like Lancaster guy quarterback kids, but Gruber's been so good. Oh my goodness. 115 yards he needs for 2,000 up top this year, 700 rushing yards, and it just seems like he's made the right read. Like in every big spot when they've needed a crunch time drive possession, he just seems to make the right reads. He finds the right kids. He hit Glover for a couple of touchdowns last week. He's got these tight end guys with a lot of size. Akings is over 1,000 rushing yards. Greer's averaging like 10 yards a carry. And Wilson's defense has been good. I don't want to say underrated, but we talk about LS's D and YO's D and Township's D a lot this year. But Wilson's right there with the D leaders. They're like number 3. I think YO has the number 1 D, by the way. And they'll flash that against LS. But Wilson's just been really, really good. And here they are back in the championship for the first time since 21, maybe. They lost to Harrisburg when Harrisburg got this run started. So love this matchup. I mean, this is old school District 3, 6A, big school, big boy football programs here, Wilson and Harrisburg. Squaring off. They've played a lot. This is the 6th or 7th time they've played in districts. Harrisburg leads that, I'm pretty sure, and they beat Wilson for gold in 21. I have Harrisburg circled. Again, much like the McDevitt pick, I'm just kind of going with pedigree and record, recent success. They've won 3 of these in a row. They've beaten all comers the last 3 years in the big boy bracket. And this game will not faze Harrisburg at all. And it's a Saturday game, afternoon. They're used to Saturday afternoon games. That's not going to bother them. And again, they have so many playmaker guys that I didn't even mention. Coke, the flank kid, is fantastic. And Mickens is just having an unbelievable season, and they do a great job at getting to the quarterback. So we'll see how Gruber handles that pressure. He's made all the right reads up to this point, but the Cougars are going to pin their ears back and go get him. So I'm anxious to see how Wilson handles that and line play. I think the Brown kid is back for Harrisburg. He's a Penn State recruit, O-line guy who's really good. What a fun game and a great matchup, but for pick purposes, I'll go Harrisburg over Wilson. That's Saturday. Okay. Winners, week 14, circled on the white card. Bishop McDevitt, LS, Harrisburg. Those are your District 3 championship big school games this weekend. Exeter McDevitt Friday night at Elko. LSYO Friday night at Warwick. I'll see you there. Wilson Harrisburg Saturday at 1 at Exeter. Be there. Get to as many of these as you can. Winners advance and go to state playoff next week. All these brackets will put you into the state semifinals next week. YO or LS will win. One of them will advance. Losers go to Winter Sports, which starts next week. Black Friday, you can play winter sports games for keeps that count with a running clock and officials. Wow. Okay, we'll keep doing the podcast until we're done with teams. I know we'll have at least one for next week, so we'll check back with you next week on this. We'll have full coverage of all these games. We got reporters at all these, box scores, full stats, game stories, photo galleries, the works. I'll get you helmet stickers over the weekend. Then we'll set you up for week 15. We'll see who's left for the state playoffs. Enjoy week 14. Enjoy the district finals. It's the Huddle, the L League football podcast, sponsored by Auto House of Lancaster. Jeff Reinhart here, LMP Sports, LMP and Lancaster Online. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.